Accenture, guys. Accenture just announced that they're going to be laying off 19,000 employees, guys. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. And of course, quite concerning for many of you. You're like, oh my God, Meta, 10,000. Accenture, 19,000. Who else? Google, 10,000. Netflix, 12,000. All these big tech companies are laying off. Now you're seeing the consulting companies are laying off as well too. You guys are scared. You guys are scared. And I can see why you could be, but I'm going to tell you like this. If you are on the fence about getting into tech, you still should consider getting into tech, okay? Now I'll tell you why, but let's talk about Accenture first. Accenture said it's planning to cut 19,000 jobs worldwide as it attempts to cut costs because of a gloomy economic picture that's ahead of us. They're talking about a recession. We're already in it, guys. They're talking about it. The company says that it would spend $1.2 billion on severance package to cut 2.5% of its workforce, more than half of the AXE roles. And this is why this is important. I want you guys to think about this. This is the important part. More than half of the AXE roles would be among the back office staff, the company said. I've been telling you guys, they get into something like tech sales, and there's a specific reason. The reason why is because it's close to the revenue. It's not considered to be back office. I've been telling you guys to get into cybersecurity, get into engineering. Why? Because it's critical to the business. And it's not considered to be back office, okay? These are critical roles that are needed inside these companies, and the majority of the layoffs that are happening right now are happening to folks that are in the back office or low performers. Accenture, they have over 738,000 employees. This is a small fraction of people, guys. And it is my understanding that they hired 200 people in between 200,000 people in between 2020 and 2022. That's a small fraction in that 200,000 as well too, guys. It's a small percentage, 2.5% of its workforce. It's small. But yes, you see the number 19,000, you say that's big. And if it impacts you, yes, it is big. I definitely want to make sure that I acknowledge that, because if it impacts you, it's big. But should that stop you all who are on the fence about getting into tech, or for you who are looking to make the transition from out of your current industry into tech, it should not stop you. It should not stop you at all. And the reason why it shouldn't stop you is because what's happening right now is a rebalancing. It's a rebalancing that's happening at this point right now, guys. I mean, like from 2020, 2022, you see all these tech companies out there in Silicon Valley. They hired hundreds of thousands of staff. I mean, you think about Accenture from 2020 to 2022, 200,000 plus. Facebook, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands at Facebook, to the point where they said you had a lot of people who were making $200,000 and not really having any meaningful work. You're literally, you got hired into a company like Facebook and you're not really doing anything. And you're making a whole bunch of videos out there on YouTube to show that you're making $200,000 and you putting in minimal effort.
What's up, ladder climbers? It's Antoine Wade. I wanted to interrupt this video to talk to you guys about Course Careers. Course Careers is the place that you guys need to go if you have a high interest into tech sales. They will help you gain the skills that you need so that you can enter the tech sales world to make a whole bunch of money. Tech sales salaries early on is about $60,000, guys. That's a good salary. And with OTEs, you can make anywhere from $85,000 to $90,000. If you have an interest in tech sales, check out Course Careers, link in the description. And don't forget to use Antoine50 so that you can get a $50 discount off of Course Careers. See you guys in tech sales.
That's what was happening, especially in the YouTube world. You saw all these videos that was going around with people talking about how they broke into tech or are in tech, making $200,000 a year. And I don't doubt that, because tech was paying some really high salaries and tech continues to pay really high salaries. But for a lot of people, they get hired into these big time companies and they weren't doing anything. And it came out that a lot of these big tech companies overhired, and they overhired for a reason, to take talent, to hoard talent. That's what they're saying right now. A lot of these tech companies who overhired, they did it specifically to hoard talent. Because if you have people in your company making $200,000 a year, but only putting in 4 to 5 hours a week, why do you hire that person? Why'd you hire that person? So they did it intentionally, it seems like, and now it's impacting a lot of people. But what is happening also is that there's a rebalance that's happening. Smaller tech companies are picking up these individuals who are being let go. Medium-sized tech companies are picking up these individuals who are being let go. I mean, you talk about these small and middle-sized companies, they were hurting. They didn't overhire. They couldn't find enough talent because everybody wanted to go to work for Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Netflix, get those $200,000, $300,000 salaries. Now, many of them are getting hired, but they're not getting paid that amount of money, especially if they're not bringing value. So for you all who are on the fence of getting into tech, guys, there's a lot of companies that's hiring right now. The rebalance that's happening isn't even back to 2019. So there are going to be more layoffs that happen, but there are also going to be lots of companies looking for you. That's most importantly. They're going to be looking for you. Get your skills up. If you wanted to get into tech sales, check out Course Careers. If you wanted to get into IT, check out Course Careers. If you want to get into cybersecurity, check out Level Careers. If you want to get into or transition from a SDR to AE, check out Level Careers. If you want to get your certification on, check out Master I.T. Keep it techy. Kev Tech IT Support, PBO. All these guys are resources that exist out here to help you get into tech. And many of you guys are winning. I have many people who are in my Discord right now who are getting jobs. I have many people right now who are plugging me on LinkedIn saying, Antoine, I just broke into tech. They're putting in the work. They're listening. They're making the transition. They're not looking at all the noise that's out there right now saying 19,000 was just laid off. 10,000 was just laid off. No, they're putting in the work and they're getting rid of all that noise and they're breaking into tech. That's what they're doing. And you can do the exact same thing as well too. What's stopping you? Should I just hold off right now because we're in a recession? Well, you can hold off. But more than likely you hold off, you're not going to ever get there. Silicon Valley is the one that's hurting right now. That's the region of the world or this country that's hurting. So all other small, middle-sized businesses, startups, these guys continue to hire. I'll give you an example. Mr. John Williams, LinkedIn. Since today is my last day in my current role, I'm ready to share some great news. After 4 long years, I reached my goal, or 4 long months, I reached my goal on Monday, and will be a business development rep at Cashapp Health. Broken into sales. Got to thank Antoine Wade from the Black Heights for exposing me to the world of tech sales. Companies are hiring, guys. I get tagged on messages like this just about every single day with individuals like Mr. John Williams here who are breaking into tech sales and breaking into tech in general. So companies are hiring. The question is, are you going to put in the work? That's the question. I know this is Friday night, but I want you guys to think about this when you go to bed at night. What are you going to invest in tonight? What are you going to invest in tomorrow? You should be investing in yourself. I can tell you like this right now, guys. I chose to get into tech sales and it's benefited me a substantial amount ever since I went into tech sales. It's opened my world up in ways that you couldn't even imagine. I made more money than I ever could have imagined, which allowed for me to do other things, like have a YouTube platform where I'm on a Friday night having some conversations with you all, this wonderful Black Heights community. It's allowed for me to help individuals buy real estate, invest in partnerships, invest in people, invest in relationships. It's allowed for me to do a lot of things, and it can do the exact same thing to you as well. All right, so layoffs are happening. We know why it's happening. It's a rebalancing. You still should get into tech, specifically tech sales. It's a fast track, guys. It's a fast track. I took the long road. I took the long road, guys. 17 years. Well, it took me about 12 years to find the world of tech sales. Many of you who are young, I just had a conversation with a good brother, Jason, 26 years old, BDR, getting to the money, has a cleaning company. He got into tech sales because he wants a shortcut and fast track his way to become a high earner. Let's go back to what I said earlier about the layoffs. Back office roles. Tech sales is not a back office role. Do you think any of these companies that are letting people go, they're letting go their good salespeople? No. Are they letting go their mediocre salespeople? Middle B players? No. Are they letting go their C players? Depends. But I can tell you this, the majority of these people aren't salespeople that's being let go. You saw it in the article for Accenture, back office roles. And we lead, don't get me wrong, back office roles are great. But but you're at risk. You're certainly at risk in an economic downturn. Roles that aren't essential to the overall revenue that comes into the company, you're at risk. That's what Uncle Ant talks about tech sales. All right,